much better. Um, I'm trying something, but it's clear and evident that I need a new laptop, guys. I'm actually trying to reply to comments live with you guys on this particular stream, but it's given me issues. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. So I'll wait for anyone who has a question. Not necessarily wait, but at the very least up until this whole mess is sorted out, because it's honestly baffling. Rifler, Pinal Rifler, expert, said hi. What up? What up? Welcome to the stream, man. I'm going to actually try something new. Hopefully, this is something I can do for an extended period of time. Um, who do you have? Old Woman Tate or Santos? Both of them are not particularly great, man. Um, Misha Tate has looked terrible since she came back. She's past her prime. She's probably doing this for money. She looked decent in her last fight, but I mean, how impressive was that? You know. On the other hand, I feel like Yana Santos also does not take her career seriously. I think she's fought amazing competition. She has decent wins, but I feel like she's one of those people who, if she had taken her career seriously, I think she would have been a mainstay. I'm not sure if she would have been a champion, but I think she would have been in the top five for for the majority of her career, or even in the top 10. I don't feel like she's been taking her career seriously. However, purely because I feel like Yana Santos might be taking her career slightly more serious than Misha Tate. I think Yana Santos is probably going to get it done. I wouldn't be surprised if Misha Tate actually finds a way to get it done. I mean, it's ultimately in a close fight. I'm sure they're going to give it to Misha Tate. She's pretty. She's a former champion. The UFC probably likes her, so most likely they are probably going to give it to Misha Tate if the fight is close. But I'm going with Yana Santos, and my subscribers are going with Yana Santos. I think people are using nostalgia to predict this fight. A lot of people use nostalgia to predict fights. Unfortunately, um, so yeah, unfortunately that's how it is. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to try to multitask. I'm going to try to respond to comments, like actual comments for UFC, um, for the upcoming fight card for today. By the way, I'm going to be doing a watch along. So if you want to join me, please do. I am going to watch the fights live, and we can actually interact and have fun together. So right now, I'm going to read out the comments, and I'll also try to respond to the live comments. But I'm going to try to read out the comments in the videos. I'll try to respond to comments for like maybe an hour and to see how far I can get. Um, Shot McGee, man, I picked so many dogs. Tonight, I don't know how it's going to be, man. But I feel a little bit more confident in my prediction strategy now. Let's see how it plays out, because I also feel like I picked a couple of picks that make me feel like, am I making the right decision or not? But I guess we'll see. I mean, even the Renier the Raider, yes, Renier the Raider pick. I'm not gonna lie, it worries me a little bit, because even in my breakdown, I did say that both Bo Nickel and Renier are not particularly incredible at striking. But if I was to pick who I think is a little bit better, I'd honestly go with as far as striking. I think Bo Nickel is slightly better and is improving. But I still feel like Renier Derrida is going to probably get this one done. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Who do you have? Peter. or N. Well, who's Peter and who's N? Um, Michael Vezi. Who do you have? Oldman Ponzi? Oh, Ponzi or D-Rod. Um, Ponzinibio, but in all honesty, it's a coin flip. It could honestly go either way. Do not be surprised, irrespective of how this fight goes. I'm just going to go with the better fighter, and I think Ponzinibio is the better fighter. And the nice thing about this particular fight is that both of them, I think, are 38 years old. So it's not like there's going to be like a favorite or whatever the case is. Both of them are basically the same age, so you can remove the element of, oh, this one is older and oh, this one is older. I feel like Ponzinibbio was better in his prime than Daniel Rodriguez was. That's one of the things I'm basing my picks on, as well as previous performances. Even though Ponzinibbio didn't look great in his last performance, it's not like Daniel Rodriguez looked great. Um, so yeah, of the two, I think Ponzinibbio is better, has more ways to win. So I think I'm going to go with Ponzinibbio. Short McGee, I think Lee is getting slept on. I also think so. Um, wait, which Lee? Are you talking about UFC 315 or are you talking about like? Is there a Lee on this card, like on tonight's card? I don't think there's a Lee. I'm not sure. Short McGee, Ponzinibbio is one of my favorite fighters. I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, he's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to try to multitask. I'm going to respond to comments here, and then I'm going to respond to comments on the channel. But you guys are not giving me an opportunity to even read the comments here. But I'll keep on responding. It's cool. Um, Michael Vezi, if you had a gun to your head, who would you predict to win between these two horrible fighters? Um, Peterson versus Mays. I think because Mays has horrible takedown defense, I'm going to go with Thomas Peterson because Thomas Peterson is probably going to be able to get it to the ground. The reason why Thomas Peterson lost so horribly to Shamil Gaziev, I think it's because Shamil Gaziev has good takedown defense. And the reason why Dontel Mays was able to survive that long against Shamil Gaziev is because Shamil Gaziev wasn't even trying to wrestle. I don't know if Gaziev even has offensive wrestling. Even if he does, he didn't use it that much against Dontel Mays. So I think that's why they went to a decision. But as far as the fight between Mays and Peterson, I think Peterson is going to win. When you combine horrible takedown defense with heavyweight and someone who has somewhat of a ground game, even if it's not elite, it's going to either be a boring decision or someone is getting submitted, and that person is probably going to be Mays. Twizzy Rich, I kind of like D Rod in this one. I can't trust Ponzinibbio's durability. Almost getting slapped by Harris is tough. And Ian Gary used the D Rod to prepare for protest. um, I mean, I don't know. Are you joking or are you serious? Like, did the D Rod form part of Ian Gary's camp? I mean, even if he used Daniel Rodriguez, I don't know. Twizzy, like you like to joke a lot, so I don't know if I should take you seriously or not. But even if you're telling the truth, even if he did, D Rod looked horrible in his last fight. Right? I don't know why Ian Gary would use him, to be honest, especially when he has someone like Charles Oliveira. But obviously, maybe he wanted a welterweight. I'm assuming that you're telling the truth and you're not messing with me. So, in all honesty, I don't know, man. I just feel like what do you call him? Ponzinibbio is the better fighter. I could be wrong. I guess we'll find out. It's a coin flip. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you Ponzinibbio is definitely going to win this fight. No, no, that's not what I'm saying. Um, I'm just saying both of them are not particularly great. They're past their prime, but my reasoning is that Ponzinibbio was better in his prime than Daniel Rodriguez. That's my reasoning, and because of that, I'm going to pick Ponzinibbio, and not just because of that. Looking at both their past performances, I think Ponzinibbio looked to me. You don't have to agree with me. To me, Ponzinibbio looked like the better fighter. So yeah, that's my reasoning. Daniel Rodriguez has not been that particularly great. I think the fight between him and Gastelum was his to win. Um, and although I agree that the Gastelum came in overweight and had an unfair advantage over um, Rodriguez, I get that. But for me personally, it's hard, man, to actually pick Rodriguez. If you can't beat Gastelum, I think Gastelum was an easy win at welterweight, right? I know I picked him at middleweight to beat Joe Pfeiffer, but still, I think that fight was his to win and he lost it. So yeah, um, Shoshot McGee, Kwang Lee. I don't know, man. Kwang Lee was assaulted by Zhao Long or whoever the guy is, and he's coming from Road to UFC. Like, as far as UFC competitions, right, or UFC reality shows, whatever you want to call it, it's Dana White's Contender Series at the top. Number two, I don't know. I want to say the Ultimate Fighter, but man, I'm going to say the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, the Ultimate Fighter has a couple of champions, and I know Road to UFC is particularly new, but I don't know. I think the packing order is the Contender Series, is the Ultimate Fighter, and then Road to UFC. But maybe Road to UFC might be number two. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know. I think Kwang Lee came in from Road to UFC, and I don't think he was particularly among the best, of the alumni of Road to UFC. So it's hard to have confidence in him. Um, Michael Vezi, I think Bolanos will separate Lee from his consciousness. I hope so, man. I hope so. And I want my picks, all my picks to be right, so I hope so. The Phenom, what's up, bro? You got confidence in Montel Jackson. Why I see why is favorite. His power and explosiveness, but DeMarcos is very technical. Yeah, that's actually true, man. Um, Marcos is really technical. Both of them are on long streaks, but Marcos in particular is on a longer streak. I don't know. And even when I was breaking down the fight, by the way, if you want to watch the breakdowns, they're available on the live section of the channel. Even in my breakdown, I did say that I feel like Daniel Marcos comparatively has fought the better competition. Beating someone like Adrian Yanez is a little bit better, and when you look at Montel Jackson's record, you find people like, what do you call him? Damon Blackshear, which is a good win, but when you remove Damon Blackshear, who else is there on the record? So that's one of the things that worry me about picking Montel Jackson, but I still feel like he's good enough. Even if he can't finish the fight, I still think he might be able to win a decision. Hopefully, cardio is not going to be an issue because I genuinely do think Montel Jackson is the better fighter in this particular fight. I think he should win wherever the fight goes. Um, Marcos might be technical, but he's not special. He's lacking that extra thing, that thing that's supposed to get you into the rankings and take you to the top. You know, I don't see it in Daniel Marcos. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't see it, man. I can't see it. I feel like he's good, but I feel like he's destined to be average. He might get into the rankings. I don't know. I wanted to make this comparison. I apologize. I'm not trying to be mean, but I feel like he's destined for a Brad Tavares esque career. Be able to be good, in the UFC, but not good enough to go very far. That's how I feel about him currently. It's not me trying to be like shady or whatever the case is. I just don't see that element. Whereas I see it in Montel Jackson. I think Montel Jackson, with a bit of improvement, he has what it takes to actually become a contender. I don't know if he can be a champion or not, but I still feel like he has what it takes to become a champion, a contender. Yeah. Um, Playboy. What up, bro? Welcome to the stream, man. Playboy said hi. What up, man? Playboy. Is Rita versus Nicole a co-main event? Yeah, it is a co-main event. Tweezy Rich. I think Yana wins to Julia Villa made Eubanks look like Habib. I'm not gonna pick her, and just cause of that win plus the massive layoff. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was difficult for me to actually go with um, Yana, to be honest, largely because I feel like she's not taking her career as seriously as she should, because she should be a little bit further in her career. But I picked her mainly because at least she hasn't been off. At least she didn't retire. Even the age element, the only person that I've ever seen perform at a high level at that age in the women's division is Holly Holm and Angela Hill. I genuinely haven't seen a lot of female fighters perform at a high level. When after they reach the age of 36, 37, it starts to go downhill from that point on. Actually, 37, it starts to go downhill. When you combine the fact that she's coming off of retirement, for me, it's kind of hard to actually trust her to actually get it done. Rifler, I watched the Mike Finch's show, and he said he has inside info that D-Rod had a bad camp and may be injured. He looked sick at weigh-ins too. I mean, it makes sense. D-Rod doesn't strike me as the guy who's been taking his career seriously and wanted to be a champion. He strikes me as the Kevin Holland, the kind of Kevin Holland. You wouldn't expect Kevin Holland to be cutting out everything to focus on his camp, right? I I don't see Kevin Holland being the kind of guy to say, you know what, I'm not going out, I'm not going to party, I'm not going to do this. I want to be disciplined. I want to have a good camp. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't see Kevin Holland being that way. And for me, Kevin Holland is a younger version of Daniel Rodriguez. He's constantly getting in and out of rankings, exchanging wins and losses. A mainstay in the UFC, but someone who doesn't really take their career as seriously as they should. Which is crazy considering after you knock out Joaquin Buckley is fighting Kamaru Usman, and Kevin Holland is busy playing around with toys at the bottom. Rifler, I might switch to Ponzi. Yeah, come to the other side. But you know what? Trust in yourself, man. Your picks have been really good recently. So who knows? Maybe you might be right about that particular pick. But for me personally, I just feel like of the two, Ponzinibbio is the better fighter in my opinion. The Phenom Ponzinibbio versus Rodriguez starts third round lock. Okay, I could see that. It's possible it goes to a decision. I don't even expect a finish here. Bob Bell. Hi man. What up, man? Rifler road to UFC is they DEI for Asians. Wow. I don't even know what DEI means, but I know it has something to do with African Americans or something like that. Bob Bell, how are you? How are you going? I'm good, man. Rifler, I maybe shouldn't have should have kept that take to myself. Damn. Yeah, maybe maybe. Whoa, Black Betty. Corey is going to be thinking about algebra and get caught by figure. Why algebra? What's the significance of the joke? Why algebra specifically? Is he studying? Why that joke? Michael Vezi, put some respect on Tavares' name. He is tied for most middleweight wins. I mean, if you stay long enough in the UFC, you are bound to get some type of record. I mean, Gerald Meerschaert has, I think, doesn't Gerald Meerschaert has the most wins in the UFC? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not sure. And doesn't Jim Miller has like a record as well of the most wins in the UFC. I mean, those are like token, achievements. Like you did it, you did not become a champion, but you got something, at least. I mean, that's how I see it. If you exchange wins and losses enough in the UFC, you are eventually going to achieve something. Like Kevin Holland. With Kevin Holland's activity, he has the potential to actually have the most wins in the UFC eventually, as long as he can remain consistent up until maybe the age of 40, right? And continue to be as active as he is. But it doesn't mean Kevin Holland is particularly incredible. So I don't know, man. I can't put any respect on Tavares' name because as long as you stay in the UFC long enough, you're going to break some record. But for how many losses does he have though in the UFC? Right? We can say put some respect on his name. He's tied for the most wins in middleweight. Sure, but where is he as far as losses? Where is he on the list of losses in the middleweight division? I'm pretty confident that he's going to be somewhere around the top 10. So, because of the inconsistency, he's probably going to be somewhere in the top 10 as far as most losses in the middleweight division. So, you can count the wins, but let's also look at the losses. So, before I put some respect on his name. Because if he was consistent with the wins, he would have been at the top by now. So yeah, uh, Tavares for me is trash. I'm sorry, Tavares, but I mean I'm trying to be as honest as possible. Um, the phenom. I start going for Sanhagen, but now I got feeling that Figgy. That fight, Nomagomedov going to surprise and use his wrestling and such a sub like Sterling. I have a hunch. Cory Sandhagen might let people get on his back a lot. Pause. But in all honesty, I think he is very defensively sound. And I've seen Cory Sandhagen use wrestling offensively. And the way he used and he won a boring decision, that's one of the reasons why Cory Sandhagen has been skipped over for a title shot when he had actually deserved it and earned it. It was because I think about 3 or 4 fights ago, Cory Sanhagen actually won a fight. I can't remember who he was fighting. He won via boring decision because he was wrestling, right? For me, someone who can wrestle offensively, it's gonna be really difficult for you to actually do a lot to them on the ground, right? Cory Sanhagen that fought Aljamain Sterling was very green. You know, I would compare that with Leon Edwards when he fought Kamaru Usman the first time and when he fought Kamaru Usman the second time. I mean, the second time Leon Edwards was even able to take down Kamaru Usman, had him in trouble in the first round. So To me personally, I feel like Cory Sandhagen has improved, and the mere fact that Umar Nurmagomedov could not dominate him on the ground shows, because Cory Sandhagen forced Umar to strike with him. It's not like Umar wasn't trying to take the fight to the ground. He attempted, but obviously he was comfortable standing on the feet, and maybe the camp for Umar was on the feet. Maybe that's probably what the plan was. But for me personally, I saw Cory Sanhagen. I saw Cory Sanhagen give Umar problems as he was trying to get the fight to the ground, and because of that, it's kind of difficult for me to say, well, Figueiredo is going to be better than Umar at taking the fight to the ground, right? Because if Umar could not submit Cory Sanhagen, I don't think that 37-year-old Deiveson Figueiredo is going to be able to do it. Tweezer Rich, Holland may turn into Michael Johnson, wins over Fluffy and Buckley. Okay, okay, no, yeah, it's possible actually, because he has good wins, in the UFC, and a lot of his wins are aging really, really beautifully. Rifler Corey Nerdhagen is becoming a confident pick for me. Yeah, no, I mean, even how I just broke it down, if Umar couldn't take him down, I don't see Davison Figueiredo at the age of 37, who's undersized, being able to achieve that, because Umar should have been able to do that. And Umar is number one in the division as far as who gave what do you call it, Merab Devalishvili the hardest fight, followed by Sean O'Malley, which is surprising. Or maybe should I include Jose Aldo in that conversation? I'd say it's Umar, it's Jose Aldo, and then it's Sean O'Malley. As far as the top three people who gave Merab Devalishvili the closest fight possible, if there's any rematch that I would have liked to see, it would have been maybe Umar, because. But I'm not too mad at the Sean O'Malley rematch. I just would have liked to see him against someone else before the rematch. But as far as who gave Merab the hardest fight, I mean, what do you call him? Sean O'Malley is in the top three. So I say that because if Umar did not have a lot of success against Cory Sandhagen as far as the grappling goes, he had a bit of success, not a lot of success. I don't think Davison Figueiredo is on Umar's level. I truly believe if Umar fought Davison Figueiredo, he would probably be able to submit him. That's my view, and he didn't do that to Cory Sanhagen. So yeah, the Phenom. What are your most confident picks today, brother? What parlay do you have? Nah, ah. I think Montel Jackson, but like I said, even though I'm confident in Montel Jackson, I criticized. Hey Joe, hey Blam, Buffy, go for challenge, get stream. I'm coming now, guys. I need to buy something. No, I'm coming now. I'm back. Whew. I need to change the room that I stream in. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? Okay, I was busy trashing Figueiredo. Sorry about that. So I don't have a lot of confidence in Montel Jackson, uh, purely because I mean, I have confidence in him. That's why he's probably one of the only confident pick I have. But I'm a little bit skeptical. Um, I'm a little bit skeptical mainly because I feel like um, I'm a little bit skeptical, largely because I feel like um, he hasn't fought a lot of high level competition. Um, like I said, the only critique I have of Montel Jackson is that his best win is Damon Blackshear. And when you remove Damon Blackshear from that record, it looks pretty sad. You know, the record looks pretty sad. So, and then on the other hand, Daniel Marcos, man, has been fighting really decent fighters. I think I rate his win over Adrian Yanez over the win over Damon Blackshear for me personally. Okay, maybe that's crazy, but still, um, I think I don't know. That's the only confident pick I have. Otherwise, I'm not particularly confident in any particular fight, to be honest. Because I think all these fights are really close. Uh, let me see. GM3 is the gold. Come on, man. Gold is a strong word, guys. Let's not play that game. There are a lot of people who has that. I know it's a joke, but Tuesday Rich Kevin Holland is the new cowboy. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Shoshat McGee, Holland versus GM3. I mean, like we all know how that's going to end. Tuesday Rich Fond. Oh yeah, yeah. He was fighting Fond, ne? Shoshat McGee. Cory uses Babag Mountain Jiu-Jitsu to get the Phenom. Okay, that's true. I forget that Umar fight. Now got all confidence on Corey. Yeah, I mean that's another pick that you might maybe go for. So far for me, it's maybe Montel Jackson and probably Cory Sandhagen. Who else? I'm not particularly sure, but there aren't that many picks that I can say I feel too confident in. Um, Shashwat Raj, do you think Petrovic, Bekoyev, and Robertson win? Who is the most likely to lose among these three? It's hard, man. For example, let's start with Petrovic. Petrovic is probably the most highly likely to lose out of all the three because I think a lot of people are underestimating Juliana Miller for good reason though. I don't blame them for underestimating her. She's not a particularly good fighter, so I can't really blame people for underestimating her. You know, I started this stream with the intention of reading everyone's comment and then responding to it, but maybe going forward I should just start a live and just respond to comments because clearly I'm not going to be able to read any of these on the laptop. It's only going to be live questions. So Petrovic number one is probably the most highly to lose because I think this fight is going to be a lot closer than people make it out to be. I know a lot of people are trashing Juliana Miller, and that's one of the things that I said in my breakdown. I feel like a lot of people are overlooking her, and she has the highest probability of actually upsetting on this particular card. I picked Ivana Petrovic to be honest, but I'm not particularly confident in her abilities to actually win because Juliana Miller is a dog, man. Like she needs you to put her down, or she's going to be a problem for you. She might not have technique, but I would compare her to someone like Nate Diaz. You know, even though Nate Diaz had some like a bit of skill somewhere in him, that's how I see Juliana Miller. She's someone that you have to put down, or she's going to keep on coming in your face. And for a lot of people, or rather for a lot of fighters, as I've seen, that gets you tired, but getting tired. The more you keep on backing up and backing up and backing up and backing up, eventually you get tired and you get into a bad position and you get finished. I can see Ivana Petrovic performing well, maybe in the first round, maybe in the second round, but late in that second round, if her cardio is not good enough, she might face a bit of a problem. Um, but I'm still going with Petrovic. I just feel like Juliana Miller is being overlooked in this particular fight, and I think she has a shot at upsetting in this particular fight. Um, Bekoyev. Uh, Obviously, I picked Ryan Loder, so so I don't believe he's going to win. But at the same time, I haven't seen enough from Bekoyev in order to be confident. And to be fair, Ryan Loder performed really well in his last fight, but it was against Robert Valentin. I mean, it's kind of hard to actually give a lot of weight to that because Robert Valentin seems to be losing to anyone who can wrestle. But what do you call him? Ryan Loder, to be specific, looked particularly improved against Robert Valentin because, in my opinion, I was expecting Robert Valentin to actually just dominate, not dominate, but I expected him to actually win. So Ryan Loder looked really improved. But another issue that I have is that America versus Dagestan normally doesn't go well for America. I'm not sure where Ryan Loder is from, but I assume he's been training in America for the majority of his career. And at this point, it's America versus Dagestan, and I don't know if Azamat is from Dagestan, but I know what you guys. I know you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Um, the guys from the Caucasus region, or with the name Bekoyev, just tells me that he's been training somewhere in Russia or somewhere in that particular area, and that's one of the things that worry me. I still picked Ryan Loder because I think on the feet he's very defensively good. On the ground, I think he's going to be very competent. So I guess we'll see if I'm wrong or right. But Bekoyev has a good shot at winning this particular fight. I'm not particularly confident in my pick of what do you call him, Ryan Loder. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then lastly, Robertson. Out of all the people that you mentioned, Petrovic, Bekoyev, and Robertson, I think Robertson, out of all these three, is the one who's probably likely to win. But also, there's another problem. The problem that I also have with Gillian Robertson is the same problem I have with what do you call him, Montel Jackson. Robertson, um, when you compare the level of competition that Robinson has been facing versus Marina Rodriguez, Marina Rodriguez has been facing like the elite of the elite of that particular division, right? So when you look at level of competition, that might be a problem. But on the other hand, Rodriguez is, up there in age, so maybe that's going to slow her down a little bit. Her takedown defense is not particularly great, and I think Gillian Robertson is going to be able to exploit that. But at the same time, you look at the fight between Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo, and you're like, okay, Amanda Lemos is older. She does really badly against wrestlers, which is what I expected in that particular fight. I was like, okay, Lemos has terrible takedown defense. Lemos is older, so Yasmin Lucindo is going to be able to actually take her down and dominate her. And that didn't happen. Yasmin Lucindo actually ended up losing, if I remember correctly. So in some instances, level of competition sometimes is really important. That's why I take that into consideration. I still feel like Gillian Robertson is going to win, but out of the three people that you asked me about, I think Gillian Robertson is probably the most likely to actually get it done. Um, On to the next one, the Phenom. You used to train or just love the sport? Do you really know? You really know that shit? A lot of times I judge your picks and shut my mouth. You are good, bro. I appreciate that, man. No, everything I'm passionate about the sport, man. It seems like you haven't been on the channel a lot, so let me give you a brief summary of why I started. I started watching MMA. Like the person who brought me into MMA, right, was Anderson Silva. I used to see snippets of Anderson Silva. By the way, I'm from South Africa, and South Africa didn't have like a live broadcast of the UFC up until I think a couple of years ago. So up until a couple of years ago, I think I can't remember, maybe 2019. So around the same time that UFC started being live broadcasted in South Africa, it was the same time that WWE was live broadcasted in South Africa. So before then, we didn't have a live broadcast. I didn't even know that there were fights on YouTube. So I used to see snippets of Anderson Silva, and I was like, "Oh my God, this guy is so good." And then I think the thing that brought me heavy, which is I think a lot of people would attribute becoming an MMA, specifically UFC fan, is Conor McGregor. The feud between Habib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor was the actual thing that brought me into the sport, because I wasn't paying attention to MMA at that particular point in time. But what happened was the fight, and the fight was so big that it pulled me into the sport. Like I heard people who don't even watch MMA telling me about that particular incident of Habib jumping over into the crowd, and it was crazy. And I wanted to see that fight, and somehow I found it on YouTube. And slowly but surely, I started to try to find ways to watch it, and eventually it came into South Africa. So I started officially. I would say I started watching MMA, or rather specifically UFC, around 2019. All that I know currently is because I watch so much of the sport. I don't just watch main card fights. I don't just watch okay, I don't just watch main card fights. I watch prelims. I watch coverage of the sport. So even though I have a channel, I also watch other channels, you know. I also watch news, I watch interviews. So over the years, that's how basically that's and a lot of people say that, and also a lot of research. One of the reasons why I started my channel was because I used to argue with a lot of people on YouTube, on Facebook, and they were like, "Yeah, you're stupid," and MMA fans are flipping toxic. But yeah, they were calling me stupid and everything like that. I was like, guys, here are the statistics. Don't you know this? It was specifically about Hamza Chimaev. I'm a massive Hamza Chimaev fight. So I can't remember which fight it was, but I was actually arguing, and I was like, look at the statistics. This guy is better. And then they were calling me stupid and everything like that. And I was like, so people don't have a lot of information about statistics, and that's why you see my channel is full of statistics. So I think I would attribute what I know about the sport to a lot of research and following the sport, not just the fights. I watch MMA Guru, I watch MMA Joey, I watch Mujahid, I watch MMA On Point, I watch what do you call it? I used to watch Chow Sonin. I stopped. You know, there's a couple of things. So it's a combination of a variety of things. I do a lot of research, but I also follow the sport beyond just fights, and that's why. And I guess I have a good memory, so that's why. And I'm also passionate. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to run this particular channel for like over 2 years without getting paid, you know. So I'm also very passionate about the sport. So I think a combination of different things, that's why you hear me speaking and you're like, oh my god, you probably were a fighter or you've been doing this for a long time. And nah, I haven't been doing it that long. I just love the sport so much that I've absorbed so much of it. You'd think I've been watching it for decades, and I probably don't even have 1 decade of watching it. But I appreciate that, man. It shows that I do my research a lot, and that's why I'm so critical of myself when I get picks wrong, because I put in so much work into what I do. Anyway, let me stop rambling. Peanut Rifler, Montel has freakishly large hands. Yeah, I think his reach advantage in this particular fight is like 7.5 or something like that. It's crazy. Like the reach advantage that he has is insane. Um, the phenom. Wish you the best. Keep with you make never lose your opinion from the bets. I appreciate that, man. Hope to see you more on the channel. Short McGee, I just need Daniel to make it out of the first round. I think he is. That fight is probably going to go to a decision. Reluctant gamer, like and subscribe. I appreciate that, man. Tell them again. I appreciate that. Um, my team Newcastle playing tomorrow. I thought you were talking about my channel. Can't you? You're advertising yourself. Pina Rifler. I just watched the some of D Rod's fights, and holy shit, he's horrible on the field. I mean, he looked improved a little bit recently, but I still feel like Ponzinibbio is better. Rifler, Bo could sleep him. Yeah, I fully agree. I think Bo Nickel is improving as far as striking goes. I still think Renier Derrida might find the submission. I think Bo Nickel is going to be a little bit more reluctant, the same as he was in the Paul Craig fight. I don't think he's going to fight recklessly. Because normally when he knocks people out is because he knows he can out wrestle them. So I don't think he's going to have that much confidence against Amrinia Derrida. So I think he's going to fight a little bit more cautiously. But as far as who is better at the striking between the both of them, I'd say it's probably going to be Bo Nickel. Um, Shawshat McGee, RDR just slips and falls into good positions. DDP like a plot. I'm with you there, Rifler. I'm just gonna pick him to win, but I'm seriously doubtful now. Yeah, I mean, I'm also worried. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I still feel like he has the best shot at winning this particular fight. I know you don't bet, but what do you think about a parlay on Robertson sub or points and Bo Nickel fight to go the distance? Robertson sub or points? I think it's pretty good to be honest, because the only I think Rodriguez is going to might be a little bit better on the feet, even though, yeah, I think Rodriguez might be a little bit better on the feet. I think for Robertson to win, she would need to actually get a submission or control the fight on the ground and win via decision. Um, and Bo Nickel versus Renier Derrida, normally when fights are this close, based on my experience of predicting fights, whenever fights are this close, it usually goes to a decision. It becomes a really close fight that ends up going to a decision. However, in this particular fight, I'm a little bit worried because for me it's a coin flip, but I still feel like, what do you call him? The Raider is going to be a little bit better. My voice shouldn't leave me because I have to do a live watch along. Um, let me see. I planned to respond to your comments for like an hour, but damn, I didn't expect this many comments. I don't mind though. I'm going to keep on doing this as I grow. I love talking to you guys, so this is going to be my way to actually keep in touch with everyone. Um, Shot McGee, me too, literally fumbles his way to win. Rifler, he flinches by lifting his knee up and someone throws a punch at him. Stop trashing him, man. Shashwat, Bo Nickel ain't no elite striker either, although he does pack some power. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's even if you look at the fight between him and Val Woodburn, I think it was Rifler who even said like Val Woodburn has been cut from the UFC, and the only reason Val Woodburn was in the UFC was because he was coming in on short notice to replace someone. I can't remember who it is, and got knocked out and didn't win any fights in the UFC. Unfortunately for him, I would have liked for him to have some type of a decent career in the UFC. But still, he was able to do that to Val Woodburn because Nickel knew if striking fails, I can just take him to the ground. And he was that confident because of that particular element. When people can wrestle as good as he can, or if people are as dangerous as he is on the ground, he's not as confident even in his striking. I mean, if he was that good at striking, he should have been able to knock out Paul Craig. He didn't do that. right? And especially because Paul Craig is past his prime at this point and is like over the age of 35, if I'm not mistaken. So for me personally, I feel like Renier Derrida's ground game is going to make Bo Nickal a little bit more cautious in how he fights. Even when you listen to Bo Nickal, um, he's not as confident as he usually is. Normally, it's like, this guy is not on my level. This guy, I'm going to do this. He starts to even speak about people ranked higher in his press conferences. I don't know if I've been hearing. Maybe I haven't watched enough of Bo Nickal during this particular fight week, but I haven't heard him speaking about people ranked higher than him. I haven't even heard him dismiss Renier Derrida. All he said is like, I have a good game plan. I know what I'm going to do. I have a good team. Like he doesn't sound as confident as he usually is, And for someone who's been saying he's going to be a minus 2,000 favorite against Hamza Chimaev, I think he relies a lot on his confidence, right? And I feel like the Paul Craig fight combined with the fans calling him overrated humbled him, because I'm sure in the wrestling world that never happened to him. Like, he was elite. He was known when he arrives and when he says, I'm going to do this, everyone believed him because he was elite. I don't think he's ever experienced backlash from the fans. I don't think he's ever experienced a bit of hardship. I didn't follow his wrestling career, so I don't assume he had a lot of obstacles, especially most recently. So I think Bo Nickal's ability to perform at a high level, which is one of the reasons why I picked Renier Derrida, Bo Nickal's ability to perform at a high level comes from his confidence. He's very skilled, right? But I think an element of what makes Bo Nickel is his confidence in what he can do. So in his past couple of fights, he realized that in the UFC I'm not as elite as I thought I was. The the Cody Brandage fight, that's where his confidence broke. That's if you listen to him after the Cody Brandage fight, he went to Dana White and was apologizing, like, I'm sorry I didn't finish it early, I tried. And even though maybe that was him acting like, I should have finished him in the first round, but that's what he thinks he should have done in his head, right? And he didn't do that. I think that's when his confidence broke, and I think the Paul Craig fight just shattered his confidence. So I think he's going to fight a little bit different, and a Bo Nickel decision, in my opinion, is highly likely. But I mean, if Rene Derrida comes in there with a horrible striking defense, I mean, who knows? Bo Nickel might end up getting a knockout. Um, Short McGee. RDR has zero head movement. He just lifts his arm and tries to clinch. I mean, he's been successful though with that. Short McGee head. Yeah, no, I got that. Um, Penal Rifler. I could see Ryan Bona Loader getting slapped like honey too. But I'm gonna pick him anyways. Yeah, I'm also worried about that. Penal Rifler, great chin, wrestling and scrambling. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I also picked him. Shoshat McGee, and he has better cardio too. I think so too. And Azamat Bekoyev actually gets touched up a little bit. Um, Space Time Continuum, lawyer legend. How are you? How are you, lad? I'm good. Who's this, man? Who's this? I don't know anyone who's ever addressed me as lawyer legend except people who know me personally. Shashrad Raj, I'm actually a candidate attorney, by the way. I have sprinkled small on loader decision overs in main event cause I had a lot of parlays with Bekoyev. Oh, okay, I hear you. Um, a reluctant gamer. I'm a fighter too. Okay, from where? Where are you fighting? Which organization are you fighting in? My record is 1,000. Okay. I like Hamza Chimaev, but Islam is better by a distance. Nah, I don't. Maybe, you know what? Islam is very well rounded. Um, Andres, Luis, what do you think about over 1.5 and Ponzi to get the job done? I think that's a pretty solid bet, to be honest, because I expect this fight to go to decision. The Phenom, Mr. Wrong Parlay is Sanhagen and plus 2.5 rounds, plus 300. I don't know what that means. Plus Ponzinibbio starts round three, minus 300, minus 130. Rifler. My opinion, this card, betting wise, is full of crazy traps. Yeah, it's better to stay away. Rifler and unpredictable fights. Yeah, a lot of the fights here are close. The Phenom really want money. The Vino Espinosa KO. I'm Mexican and know my warriors. Who's that? Shashwat Raj. Ponzi is winning the fight against D-Rod by decision. Yeah, I think so too. Gamer said hi. Okay. Andrea Lewis. Is Gillian Robinson a lock? I don't know, but she's highly likely to win. Shashwat Raj. Who wins in the Bolanos fight and method of victory? I went with Bolanos. I think Bolanos is going to be better everywhere. I'd be surprised if he actually lost. Maybe you can um, maybe you can go to my live section and take a look at my breakdown for that particular fight. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I broke it down very nicely. So go to the live section of the channel and check. It's only that I break down fights individually so that you don't have to watch all the breakdowns if you don't want to watch all of them. You can just watch specifically the fight that you want to hear my opinion on. Guys, my voice is just tired. I'm going to come back for the live watch alongs. Join me then. Gamer, gamer, like and subscribe once upon a slugfest. I appreciate that, man. The Phenom, don't see boxing you have time to when you have time. Look at Espinoza versus Robesi fight of 2023. Okay, I might do. I used to do a bit of boxing last year, but this year the channel and MMA has been so crazy. I haven't had the opportunity to actually do predictions for boxing fights, but I plan on continuing to do them. I just need to get a little bit more time, especially I'm going to go back to school and try to finish my qualification and everything, so it's gonna be a lot. Um, Let me see. Gamer, blah blah. I'll be back, bro. Sharp. Penal rifler Bolanos is usually a speed. Usually at a speed disadvantage, but Lee is also slow, also quite hittable too. Yeah, and I think Bolanos has a lot of power. Not a lot, but has some power. Shashwa Daraj. Ryan lost as minus 1,000 last night. It was crazy to see. Oh, Garcia. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Guys, my voice, guys. I have to come back and do the watch along. So join me then. I love and appreciate all of you. I thought I would be able to answer questions on my channel, but I enjoyed responding to comments in the live. I didn't expect this many questions. I didn't expect to actually respond to comments for an hour, which is crazy. But I love it. Thank you for joining me. Let's meet again in a couple of hours when the prelims start. Hopefully, I can wake up. Hopefully, I won't wake up late, but it doesn't matter what time I wake up. I'm going to try to watch the prelims. It's important to watch the prelims. So I'm going to wake up at that point in time. But yeah, I'm going to live stream by any means necessary. I'll see you guys then. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me. I'll do this every single week just because I feel like I haven't been responding to you guys and I don't feel that connection anymore. Like there was this amazing connection when I used to respond to comments, but obviously the channel is growing. I get like 400,000, which is crazy. Like 2 months ago, I used to get like 200 and something thousand views per month, and now it's skyrocketed to like 400,000 views per month, one over 100,000 views per week on the channel, which is insane. So the channel is growing heavily, so it's kind of hard to respond to every comment, but I still love and appreciate all of you. You hear my voice starting to do its thing. So I still love and appreciate all of you, and I'll keep on making effort to keep in touch with you guys. Even if I reach a million subscribers, I'm going to find ways to actually communicate with you guys. I love the sport. You guys mean a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to support me. I'm trying to get my clothing brand on Amazon. And I think I'm going to make it available first in the United States, and then maybe maybe make it available in Canada and the United Kingdom. I'd appreciate you guys' support. Um, it's a really dope brand. It's the you see the logo on all my videos, the red logo at the top. That's my brand. It's trademarked. So I'm designing some beautiful stuff. You'll see it once the Amazon link is live. I'll find a way to integrate it nicely into the videos. So yeah, I'm making a couple of moves in order to do this channel thing full time. So yeah, I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for supporting me. I don't take that for granted. Let's meet again in a couple of hours. I have to rest. I've been editing and predicting, analyzing. Oh my god. Anyway, see you later, guys. Deuces.